provided by Thomas Allgeier and Frennis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about next-gen vehicle intelligence in CW 2728. Frennis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cutting through the noise, bringing you the absolute latest in next-gen vehicle intelligence. We've basically distilled the top trends we saw buzzing across LinkedIn over the past couple of weeks. That's calendar weeks 27 and 28. Think of it as a shortcut to understanding the cutting edge of mobility and, what really matters right now.
It really is a dynamic space. You'll find a lot of chatter around software-driven transformation, lots of tech innovation, and generally how the industry is moving towards these scalable digital platforms. And embedded intelligence, it's evolving fast, and we're here to help you connect those dots.
Okay, great. So let's unpack our first major theme. The software-defined vehicle, the SDV. It feels like this concept is really fundamentally transforming the automotive industry now.
Yeah, it's fascinating, actually, how the conversation itself has matured. It's moved beyond just, hype. Like Peter Romanowski pointed out, the focus has shifted away from these promises of, limitless revenue streams.
Right.
Now it's more about the very real technical hurdles, the adaptation challenges.
Right.
The idea is OEMs becoming original experience manufacturers.
Original experience manufacturer.
Okay, yeah. Right. So the vehicle's value is more and more about the digital experience, with the hardware sort of playing a supporting role, a crucial one, but supporting. And that shift, well, it brings huge challenges.
That reframing sounds massive. And it's not just consumer cars, right? I saw Peter Lair from ZF. He offered a really interesting look at software-defined commercial vehicles.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, how they're enabling smarter, safer, more efficient fleets. He talked about digitalization, reducing complexity, and importantly, the total cost of ownership for fleet operators. That's a big deal for businesses.
It really is. But, it also brings up this question about where the actual value lies. Michael Ender Gomez suggested that maybe for the average consumer car, the ROI on some really complex SDV stuff, it's almost impossible to justify.
Interesting point.
He argues the real value, the deep value, emerges in these more complex setups, like managing systems of systems across the whole transport sector. He calls it software-enhanced transportation, or SET. So it's less about one car, more about orchestrating networks.
Okay, so it's definitely not just adding software features. It's a whole architectural rethink. Matt Damasceno put it pretty simply. Vehicles are basically smart, connected machines now.
Right.
Constantly gathering data from cameras, radar, LiDAR, the laser radar, making fast decisions, updating themselves over the air.
Like your phone.
Exactly. And that transformation, it goes really deep. Timo van Roorman mentioned a collaboration between Rimac Technology and NXP Semiconductors. Get this. Just 3 smart units could potentially replace over 20 traditional ECUs.
Wow, 20. Yeah, those little electronic control units for everything. Imagine the savings in weight, complexity, smarter, lighter, more efficient vehicles because of that consolidation.
That really underscores the need for standardization, doesn't it? Peter Romanowski and others too really hammered this home. To get the benefits of SDVs faster, we need standard APIs, those application programming interfaces, common interfaces too, and maybe more open source for the non-differentiating bits. But crucially, without compromising on safety and certification, that's the tightrope walk.
And speaking of safety and open source, Bertrand Boisseau shared some pretty big news. Canonical achieved ISO 21434 certification.
Okay, that's significant.
It is significant because it proves open source can meet top automotive cybersecurity standards. That's a big step for confidence and security in this SDV world. Anton Madan also explored this area, highlighting those ongoing cybersecurity challenges. They're definitely still there.
And talking about complex, secure systems, well, that leads us straight into autonomous driving. It feels like we're finally seeing real deployment now, like beyond just the test track.
Oh, absolutely. It's quite striking. Zhou Zhang, for example, gave this fascinating glimpse of China really leading the charge. Fully driverless buses running daily in places like Guangzhou and Shenzhen.
Daily. Wow.
Yeah, and robotaxis, you can just book yourself in Wuhan, already scaling up. That's level 4 autonomy. The car handles everything in certain conditions happening right now.
And here in the U.S., we've seen big moves, too. Greer Johnson Gillis highlighted the Jacksonville Transportation Authority launching what they're calling the nation's first autonomous vehicle public transport system.
Right, JTA.
Yeah.
That's a big step for public transit. And it brings us smack into that huge debate, Waymo versus Tesla.
Ah, yes, the big one.
Adrian Pearson broke it down pretty well. Waymo, leading heavily on LiDAR, high-def maps, stressing their safety record, millions of real miles, billions simulated. It's that very methodical approach.
Right, the measure twice, cut once kind of philosophy.
Yep.
While Tesla, as Matt Sobel reported, is betting the farm on its camera-based full self-driving.
Yeah, the vision-only approach.
And they claim, a significantly lower crash rate than humans, even lower than Waymo. Ethan. He even called it a GPT moment for self-driving.
The GPT moment.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a strong analogy, meaning they're relying on this single massive AI model trained on huge amounts of fleet data learning end-to-end, like ChatGPT learns from text.
Exactly. But, there's definitely skepticism. David Swift raised valid concerns about the camera-only path. What about fog or total darkness?
By the edge cases.
And he also questioned the size of that initial Austin test fleet. And it's not just observers. Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, Steve Greenfield shared this. He explicitly favors LiDAR systems, cites trust and safety.
And that trust factor, it's just massive for getting people on board. Joshua Quinn kind of framed it as a choice, didn't he? Like safe but costly for Waymo versus affordable but maybe less proven for Tesla.
That sums it up pretty well. We even saw Tesla's FSD, the supervised version, being tested out in Madrid. Guillermo Teixeira Prado shared some footage.
Oh, interesting.
But Mario Cools cautioned that while European cities are dense, it might need some serious speed limits in those complex urban zones. Different environment, different rules needed.
Makes sense. And look, it's not just Waymo and Tesla duking it out. Michael Gensler gave a great overview of the other players in these robotaxi wars.
Right. Who else is in the mix?
Well, Uber, obviously, now partnering with Waymo after selling their own unit. Amazon Zoox is making moves. And in China, Baidu, which is actually the world's largest robotaxi operator right now, it's a global race.
And it's not just taxis, right? Delivery is happening, too.
Definitely. Darren Nye reported on Starship Technologies expanding in Europe with those little sidewalk robots.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And Dinesh Karthik Ravindran and Timothy Pampandreou shared something cool. Tesla apparently showcased a completely driverless delivery experience for the cars themselves. Imagine your new Tesla just driving itself to you.
Okay, that's pretty futuristic. So how is all this stuff actually powered? It must go way beyond just the car itself.
Oh, absolutely. The ecosystem is key. Tunç Kip provided some really excellent insight here, talking about how tech giants think LG Electronics, Sony, Qualcomm, NVIDIA are fundamentally reshaping that Tier 1 automotive landscape.
So the traditional suppliers are facing new competition or new partners.
Both, really. It's a massive shift. You've got Qualcomm pushing its Snapdragon digital chassis platform. It enables AI copilots, OTA updates, and they're working with BMW, GM, Stellantis, major players. They're kind of becoming the car's brain provider.
Okay. And NVIDIA. They're not just graphics cards anymore, obviously.
Far from it. Tunç Kip noted this too. They're powering fleets. GM's building future EVs on NVIDIA Drive, integrating AI, simulation. Their reach is just huge now in automotive.
And Huawei is another one we have to watch, right? Especially in Asia.
For sure. Gregor Eckhart highlighted their whole software-defined platform. Harmony OS is the car OS, powering vehicles from several Chinese OEMs. And they're even partnering with BMW and Audi over in China. It's a very comprehensive approach.
This whole push for integrated software, it's leading to some surprising collaborations, isn't it?
It really is. Kevin Kargar reported that Honda and Nissan, traditionally fierce rivals, are actually joining forces.
No kidding.
Yep, to develop a common automotive operating system. That tells you something, right? They see the need to collaborate on that core software layer.
Wow. And underlying all of this, the data has to be good, right?
Absolutely critical. Ravishankar Rajalingam emphasized this for ADS, the Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. They rely on incredibly precise, carefully labeled, sensor-fused data. Think LiDAR and camera data merged together. Garbage in, garbage out, basically.
Makes sense. Data quality is paramount.
And data needs connectivity. Beverly E. shared some insights from Ericsson about how 5G network APIs are changing the game for connected vehicles.
Yeah.
Enabling things like quality on demand for smooth video calls or seamless infotainment.
Better streaming in the car, finally.
Basically, yeah. It's all about making the vehicle smarter, more connected, turning it into like a data hub on wheels. Sean Say talked about BlackBerry's comeback using their IVY platform.
Really?
Yeah, leveraging IVY to turn raw vehicle data into useful real-time intelligence. For new business models, better safety, unlocking the value in all the data cars generate.
And this transformation goes right back to manufacturing, too.
It does. Bhuwan Agrawal noted TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, is expanding its SDV innovation hubs, helping OEMs speed up development in autonomous driving, digital cockpits, connected mobility. It's an end-to-end shift.
Okay, so the progress is definitely exciting, but let's talk about the hurdles. There are some big challenges and strategic shifts happening, too.
Oh, undoubtedly. Isabel Nauf shared John Elkann's quite sobering assessment of the European auto industry.
What were his main points?
Well, big challenges like the Chinese market just dwarfing Europe and North America combined now, plus an affordability crisis, shrinking the actual market in the EU. It's a tough environment.
And he mentioned something about strategic paralysis in Europe.
Yeah, that was a strong phrase. He argued that regulations are forcing R&D teams to focus maybe too much on just compliance rather than bold innovation. And the risk there is, well, becoming irrelevant compared to more agile global players.
That's a serious warning.
And then there's the skills gap. Lauren Harrop pointed out, just in the UK, a massive vacancy gap over 20,000 positions, especially in EV tech and ADAS. We just don't have enough qualified people.
20,000. Wow. Plus, there are these hidden risks, too, right? Trent McNeil explained how simple aftermarket changes, like a new windscreen or a lift kit, can totally mess up the ADAS calibration, impacting safety. And the owner might have no idea. That seems like a systemic issue for repairs.
It really does. And cybersecurity, as Philip Veronese and Anton Madan both kept highlighting, it remains this critical, maybe underestimated challenge. We're making progress on AVs, but securing these super-connected vehicles, it's incredibly complex, still a major hurdle.
So for autonomous vehicles to really hit the mainstream, the economics and the regulations have to line up.
Exactly. Augustin Friedel touched on this, talking about global partnerships and financing for fleet management. He noted that fleet management is tough, low margins, operationally intense, not always easy for tech companies used to different models.
Right.
And Nicholas S. Lang really underlined this. He said, AVs aren't an if anymore, they're a when and how. But the how requires governments, industry, the public, everyone getting aligned. Otherwise, we get this messy, fragmented rollout.
Yeah, consistency seems key. It's definitely a complex journey, not just a race, like Stefan Heinrich put it.
That's a good way to phrase it.
He highlighted that ultimately, cost per passenger mile is king. And insurance. That could break or make AV scale. Plus, the need for clear, unified AV laws, especially across Europe. It really boils down to the economics, the safety case, and the rules.
Absolutely. And just to round it off, it's not like the established giants are just watching this happen. Thomas Schaefer shared how Volkswagen, for instance, is being recognized for its innovation.
Okay.
It shows how these big traditional brands are driving forward with electrification, with software, doing things like OTA updates for performance boosts. The whole industry is moving, some just faster than others.
Well, that covers a huge amount of ground. If you enjoyed this deep dive into next-gen vehicle intelligence, remember, new deep dives drop every 2 weeks. And be sure to check out our other editions covering electrification and battery technology, future mobility and market evolution, and commercial fleet insights. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us on this exploration of what's truly next for mobility.
Yeah, we really appreciate you spending your time with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the deep dive so you stay well informed. And maybe something to think about. What do you think will be the biggest unexpected challenge for autonomous vehicles in the next, say, 5 years? Something to ponder.